Hey guys, it's Erica, and it is Tuesday, May 20th, 2014, and I'm in the car passing by the San Francisco airport, so you might be able to hear some planes or see some planes through my moonroof. And I thought I would record a video. It's been like 7 months, and I'm never really sitting at my computer proper any longer. Well, it's fairly rare, so I don't really have opportunities, or I don't make opportunities to film, and so I thought I'd record. So, really sorry, because I know some people are like, is Erica ever going to come back? If they ever cared. Anyway, I digress, as usual. So today I'm kind of feeling inspired, or like I really need to record a video because the scale is not my friend right now, and I mean, it's not the scale, it's me, but I wanted to record a video and hopefully kind of get back on track. So I think that in the last video I was like 140, 143. Today it was 150. And I think it's kind of fluke-ish. I think I'm kind of retaining water and some other things which will come off fairly quickly, so I'm pretty confident that I can get back to the mid-140s relatively quickly, but still seeing that number was not a number that I ever wanted to see ever again in my life. And it's 145 was really kind of my drop dead weight, and so to see it go 5 pounds higher was really disconcerting. So anyway, so to start off with, I started my journey, and I'm sorry that I'm looking at the road, but I'm driving. So I started my journey at my very highest weight recorded was 228 point something, and that was back in around March of 2012. I had the vertical sleeve in April 2012, and I think my surgery date weight was like 215 point something, and the lowest I've ever gotten was, I think for a very split second I was 134, but I was hovering around 136, 137 for a while, and then I kind of got sick. I was swimming a ton, and I kind of got sick of that. I get very obsessive about things, and so I was working, I was swimming a lot, and then I just kind of got bored of it. The swim team practices were getting very mundane and repetitive, and so I kind of decided to stop that, and I started a new job March of last year, and so I was kind of busy getting ramped up on that, so I wasn't working like crazy hours, but I was kind of learning the ropes, and so my whole routine kind of got out of whack. So for a couple months there, I think I went from the very first day, and that was the only day I was 134, my very first day of work there was 134 point something, and then by like 3 months into the job, I was like low 140s. Not horrible, but I just wasn't working out, and there was free food and blah blah blah. So I started spinning, and so I got really crazy into spinning. I didn't really take off weight. I think I may have gotten to like high 130s, but I was really like kind of 142 up to like a couple times 147. But mostly I've been kind of like in the mid 140s ever since like I packed on those few pounds after joining the new company. And so anyway, so my focus today, this morning, is really like 150 for reals, like not okay. So I guess my plan is to go back to the basics. I guess the reason for the weight gain, I think the thing about the sleeve, so I'm a little over 2 years out, and the thing about the sleeve is, like anything, you learn. So you can learn how to get around it. It's not so much that you learn how to force more food in at the same time. It's like, and it's not even a conscious thing. It's like, if you want to consume food, then you eat until you know, have to stop, and then like in an hour or so you eat some more, so you can constantly kind of consume things, and so I think the important, when I've been successful, is been when I put limits on myself. So I say I'm gonna have I don't even have to like structure it where I know exactly what I'm going to be eating, but I give myself certain times. And so in the morning I have a protein shake and some kind of snack. I eat something for lunch, and I basically say, okay, you can't eat until 3 o'clock. And then when you eat at 3 o'clock, you eat for 15 minutes. And then you stop and you don't eat again until X time of day. And so it isn't even like, I think with the sleeve, it gives you the capability of restricting how much you eat. So I don't even know if it's so important to say like, I'm only going to eat like eggs and protein shakes and Quest bars for a week, because I mean, who wants to do that? But I think limiting the time and not allowing yourself to graze is, at least for me to graze, is super important. And it's a weird thing because I used to be like the opposite. I'd go hours and hours and hours and hours without eating, and then I'd be super ravenous and I'd consume everything that I could possibly get my mouth around. And so now it's like I have to control myself in the opposite direction. So it's a little challenging, but that's kind of where I am right now. I'm like, all right, 150 is ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, but it's like the slippery slope. And I also feel a little bloated, so I want to feel good. So my resolution is to go back to basics, protein shakes more often as kind of a meal replacement, and being deliberate about the time of day that I'm eating. And exercise, interestingly, okay, so I guess I haven't updated in a while. Exercise-wise, I think running is kind of my new thing, which is really, really weird because pre-op, forget about right before surgery, like my entire life, running's been this scary, scary thing. Like a block and I'd be winded. Any distance, I'd be really easily fatigued. And so now, I like running, and I should qualify this. I start off and I don't like running, and some days my body just doesn't want to do it and I don't enjoy it. But what's great about running is that you don't have to pay a gym membership. You're not beholden to any hours that something's open. I like to run outside. I don't like the treadmill, so I'm kind of like I guess beholden to the weather and the day's daylight. So, but that aside, I love being able to vary where I run. So I've done trail runs, flat road. The combination of the two I think is the best for me. So I have a couple pairs of shoes that are specifically for trail runs, and a couple that are for flat road, just paved road. And what I like is that I like being outside, so I really don't like being stuck in a gym, sweaty, near other people. I like having my music, being outside, ideally somewhere beautiful, like in San Francisco, the Embarcadero, against the water, or a trail surrounded by trees, and just being able to just put shoes in a car, get in the car, go somewhere, and just go see something for like an hour. I don't know. I'm finding that I like running. I like being outside. So in April, I think I talked about in my last video that I was going to do Tough Mudder in September in Tahoe, and I couldn't do it because I kept on tearing my calf. And so I ended up doing Tough Mudder in Patterson, which is also considered Northern California, in April with a bunch of people from work. And so I think it was 10 point something miles, and I think there was 22 obstacles, and you know, it was really nice to complete it. I avoided, and I haven't talked to my surgeon, but they have a few obstacles that involve electricity, and so one of the things they warn you about is if you have any metal in your body, don't do electricity. And so I have staples, I think, right? I mean, so I didn't do the electricity because I'm like, I didn't talk to the surgeon. I don't know. I assume that the staples are still there in my stomach, and I don't know how significant it is, but I didn't want to mess around with it. It's not worth it. So I didn't do the electricity. Some of the obstacles that involved upper body, I was actually not worried about the obstacles. I was worried about the running. And it was kind of interesting because I I don't know, I just wasn't worried about the obstacles. But the upper body required for the obstacles was far more significant than what I was anticipating. And I was kind of like, I'm a swimmer, like I've got a stronger upper body than most females, so I should be fine. But it was actually pretty hard. And what's hard for me with upper body, well, one, I haven't really been doing anything for upper body, but two, with the boob job, anything that involves, like when I got back in the water after having the boob job and I tried to swim, the pecs just don't work the same as they used to. And I didn't realize kind of how strong mine were or how I'm using them, because now when I try to swim, just the pulling down motion, you can feel the pecs flex, but the implant's underneath it, and so it feels like this really, it doesn't hurt, it's just really, really strange, and it feels like some weird foreign alien thing is manipulating my body. It just doesn't feel right, and then it also doesn't feel like I could really get very much power. So anyway, I love the boob job. I think other than the weight loss surgery, I'm super glad that I got them. I feel womanly, and I think they look great, and I think the size was right. Sometimes I feel like I could go bigger, but sometimes I'm like, God, these are some big boobs. So I think I went with the right size, and I wish I was bold enough to keep the before photos on my camera so that I could, my phone, so that I could look at them and remember what the before photos of my boobs look like. But I don't want those kind of photos on my camera, even though they're not attractive. But I did send them to myself. So I took the before pictures and I sent them to my email. So I think it's about time to take a look at them myself and remember what I used to look like, because I think I take it a little bit for granted at this point that when I look in the mirror, the boobs are phenomenal. So they were pretty flat and pathetic before. So anyway, so the boobs are going great. So running, the funny thing is, I ran, I think a week and a half ago, and I was breaking in some new shoes, which were kind of barefoot, minimalist shoes, and I'd worn them over the weekend. They're super comfortable. I love them. And so I decided to go for kind of I wasn't planning on running, but I wanted to go on the trail in the morning before work. So I was like, I'll just do a couple miles. I won't run. I'll just hike a couple miles just to get out there for a little bit. So I got on the trail and I wore the new shoes without socks, because that's how you're supposed to wear them, but they're not really broken in yet. So anyway, you can see what's coming, right? So I wear them on the trail. I get maybe a little less than a mile in, and I'm like, I start running because hiking was going too slow. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm running today. I wasn't really planning on it. In fact, I was planning on not running. So I start running. I just kind of continue running, and I wasn't really paying attention to where I was going on the trail. And I ended up getting like 2.5 miles out, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to turn around now. So running back, and I can start to feel a couple blisters forming on my feet, and which sucked. But I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna try to power through this, and this can't be too terrible. And so I keep on running, and then all of a sudden, one of them on my left foot busts open, and I can just feel just really, there's not a blister, but really raw. And I'm like, oh, okay. I knew that I was getting pretty close to being done, but at that point I was like 5 miles in, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna try to like deal with this, and I'll be done soon. And it was like, I can't, no. It was burning, it was on fire. And so I took off my shoes barefoot. So the less than probably quarter mile, I was walking barefoot on the trail. Rocks, pebbles, all that kind of stuff. My blister was getting all dirty and caked up. So that was a week ago. That was, I think, exactly a week ago. It was last Tuesday. And so I got home, cleaned it out. It's still not healed. I have 2 blisters, one on each foot, but the one on the left foot's terrible. And so now I'm basically, I can't run. I could probably spin. I could swim. But even walking, like, I can wear heels, but I can't wear like tennis shoes because all of them rub, even with like Band-Aids and everything. So it was a very deep, very, very red deep, serious blister. So I'm hoping that once that heals, I guess my point is I can't really seriously, I could do spin, but I'm not really sure how that would feel, but can't really seriously exercise. I can't do the exercise I want to do until it's healed. And so I'm kind of like, I need to control everything through diet until I can work out more heavily. And so anyway, that's my plan, is to try to control everything through that. So I feel like I'm rambling. It's 15 minutes now. I don't know how much of this anybody cares about, but I wanted to come back and do a video. I feel like I have a ton more to talk about, like in terms of just what it's like to be a couple years out. So maybe I'll record a second video just so that I can cut this off and then people can watch maybe some more content on something specific in a second video. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll be right back and start recording something else on kind of how it feels 2 years post-op and what's going on in general in my life. So all right, that's it. Thanks everybody. Bye.